Can you try to make sure whenever this one comes up, it kind of drifts to the right? I don't want it to hit my trailer right there. And I did tell him that's not a lifting chain. Yeah, that's close enough. In fact, yep. Is he gonna load one on that side or no?
You want a one or no?
If you could just push that.
Let's do right here.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'm still worried we can't set them, I don't know if they're gonna have something to unload it like that.
Okay, so you want it like a...
Yeah, if we could throw them on top of some of these. Or do y'all always ship them out like this? Y'all always ship them like this? Okay, that's fine then.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. I guess I can throw a rope through there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all the time we go like this, because a lot of yards and stuff like that, they have like chain.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll throw a chain through there and they can grab it with a fork.
Okay.
So he's gonna do 3 across? He's gonna do 3 across? Or just 2?
I guess it's gonna do like 2.
2, okay. Yeah, that's good. No, just line up with this one. Yeah, I mean, if you come over a little more, so it's on the. Yeah, that's good. That's fine.
Right?
Yeah, that's good.
You want another one right here? No.
You can. Yeah, I mean, will he do 4 or 3?
Whatever you want.
Okay.
Or you want a 2 and 2?
Let's just do. Let's do 2, and then let's do 3 on the next one. Yep, we'll do 2, and then we'll do 3 and 3.
Okay.
3, and then 3.
Let's go.
Yep. Yeah, he's going to the center first. That's good. just a little bit. I guess that's as good as it gets. That's good. So I just back down there and then swing around the building? Yep.
Yeah, you can put it on.
Okay. Thank you. Don't really need to twist them this short of a span. It wouldn't matter either way, but I'm just in the habit. Some guy told me on one comment not to twist the straps. He said that was the reason one of my straps got sliced through. The reason I got sliced through is because it didn't have any. It got uncovered edge protection. The edge protectors were only covering like a part of it. But if you want to see a full video on twisting straps, the guy at Fireball Tool, he did a full episode on it. Quick summary, twist the straps, or don't twist the straps if you don't. I mean, it keeps them from flapping around, so I twist them. I got out tons of extra straps because I didn't know how they were gonna organize them. I didn't even know what size they were. I actually thought they were gonna be taking up a lot more of the trailer. And once I switched over to using these gear ties to secure the loose ends, I never switched back to, it just saves time tying them off. You can zip tie them, but then you gotta deal with cutting it, stuff like that on the other end. And I'm sure all the safety warriors will have something to say about tying off to the rub rail. I may do a full video on that at some point. I don't always tie off to the rub rail, but I'd say 90% of the time I do tie off to the rub rail. Just 10 of these little concrete paver blocks, or PreCast blocks, whatever they're called. I guess I'm gonna back down this little area and then swing around that side of the building to take off. It's a tire hazard. Yeah, we're taking these down to Cerro. I think that's how you say it. C-U-E-R-O. Some energy company down there. So, about to get on the road. Instead of coming back down by that Petro, I just went out and got on 35 a little bit earlier, or a little bit further north from the shipper. Because if you leave that exit by the Petro, you're crossing like 4 lanes of traffic in less than half a mile to take this exit. So the oil change I got was at the place across the street from the Petro, across MLK Drive, and they did it real quick. And the only thing I'm not real happy about with it, other than the $200 extra that I paid for it, was I've got those red filters. I've never put a red filter like the bald one. I've always used cat filters, or in the wintertime, sometimes I'll run the Fleet Guard in the fuel water separator filter. I'll use the Fleet Guard because it's got a little bit less restriction than the cat fuel water separator. But in the summertime, I normally just like to run cat all the way around. And these Baldwin ones, so I've got all 3 of them are those red Baldwin filters. I'm sure it'll be fine. Some guys, I think they just always use those. The axle surgeon I talked to, he said, not on your slack adjusters, but your S-cams, he said he put he described them as a bronze bushing. I'm not real familiar with like what material S-cams are made of or anything like that, but he said these are better than what you had and better than what most people use. But he said I need to grease them like every 5,000. No, he said every week. So that'd be like every 2,500 miles approximately. I don't know if I'll be able to get around to it that often, but I will try to. I used to grease the truck in between oil changes. I do oil changes at 10,000 miles, and I would go and I would just grease everything myself in between oil changes, like midway through. So I'm going to start doing that again for the trailer, because I did spend a lot of money on all that work, so I'd like to keep those things good. But the reason I said I used to over grease it, or I think I said that, was I failed an inspection one time for a blown wheel seal. This was a Landstar 120-day inspection. This is a long story, but I'll try to shorten it. Anyways, I failed the inspection for like 10 things. And this is one of them where Landstar called me. I told him he was full of shit. And Landstar called me and asked if I'd left the property. I said no. I just pulled around their parking lot, trying to figure out what my next move is. And I explained the situation to him. I explained every line item that he had failed me for. And I told him, I'm 100% certain that at least 4 of those 10 items were not, they were not fails, you know. And I wasn't 100% sure, so I asked him to show me a few of the things. And he didn't want to show me, he didn't want to like crawl under there, like he didn't want both of us to crawl under there and look at a wheel seal he was talking about, so he was trying to point it out. And I was like, well, okay, show me another one. So he showed me the steer axle. There was a steer axle, a drive axle, both wheel seal. I think 2 drive axle wheel seals and a steer axle wheel seal, along with several other things. One thing was actually, it was a failure for, I mean, he caught something that I'd known about for a while, and I'd appreciated that he caught it. It was my air dryer. But anyways, the grease, so I was greasing everything extra, and the grease off of one of the S-cams on the truck, or the slack adjuster, or something around there was too much grease, and it was, somehow it had got onto the brake, so it looked like oil right there. So that was an issue. But I ended up pulling back in there. We tore everything apart, and I failed for one thing. But they gave me a pass. I mean, they fixed everything. But we took the steer axle. We didn't even have to take apart, because they had the manager come out and look at the steer axle. And he's like, "Yeah, there's nothing here. I don't know why he failed you for that." The 2 drive axles, tore those apart. One of them was like no issues. The other one had a little grease on it. So I, give him a pass on that. He failed me for no DOT reflective tape on the top of the rear of my sleeper berth. I shone my flashlight up there, and everybody around was like looking at this reflection off the reflective tape. So I was like, I don't know how you failed me for that. There's clearly reflective tape up on both sides in the corners. But the thing he caught was the air dryer. So my air dryer, after it sneezes, it bleeds down additional air, and it's supposed to bleed down maybe 10 or 12 psi. Well, mine was bleeding off like between 15 and 20. It was bleeding off enough. It was bleeding off too much, so it would end up setting like right above 100 psi. And so just a little bit of air loss beyond that point, it was starting to down to like 103 psi. So if your governor's cutting your air compressor back in at 100, and you're sitting at 103, that's, you're just going through too many cycles. So all they did on that is they just replaced it. I bought an air dryer from some parts store, but they didn't have the genuine Bendix, and it was some alternative cross-reference. And so when we swapped it out for the actual Bendix air dryer, that took care of the problem. So, and after all the trouble they put me through, the manager, I think I only paid less than $200 for the air dryer like installation and everything, because we went through everything else and there was nothing else other than that spot of grease. Like the grease, I mean, I think he was probably in the right to fail for that, but after you've done all this other stuff that you know is not, you're failing someone at what looks like, because you want to rack up a repair bill and you want to get some extra hours in. And I mean, I talked to the guy about it, and he said, I'm leaving, I'm done with my shift for the day, so I'm not trying to do that. But he still didn't have answers to whatever, everything else. I I ended up talking to him for quite a while throughout the whole process, even though, we were not real friendly with each other. But he seemed like a knowledgeable mechanic. This was at the Petro in Kentucky, somewhere along, I think 65, just about made it to Texas. So the last 2 or 3 videos, I think I've done more like the securement itself, just showing the loading process. If that's just taking up too much time in the video and it's not any good, let me know. Or if the camera, like what I'm talking to right now, if the parts of the video where I'm driving and talking is that the most boring part? I feel like that's probably the most boring part, but I don't know. I'm kind of just throwing spaghetti up against the wall and trying to find out what people like, what they're interested in, what people get value out of. Did a handful of videos where there was a lot of the shots of the trailer while I was driving. I felt like that was kind of over. That was a little too long, too much of that. But I don't know, I still feel like some of it people like. It would help me out if you say in the comments what part of the videos are good and what parts are not good, or what parts you don't like. And I'll try to, it'll probably still be a mixture, but I can kind of focus more on one part or cut more of something out and just try to make videos that people are interested in. We're like right up the road from the, let's see, it says 11 minutes, 8 miles away. This is a good truck stop. There wasn't hardly anybody here, but they got plenty of, there's probably parking for 20 trucks or more. The entry's on the other side. For a second there, I was thinking I was pulling out onto the main road, but this is just a little side road where the exit's at.
At the light, turn left onto South Esplanade Street. In 3/4 of a mile, turn right onto East Broadway Street. Arrived.
I would imagine we'll be back in this big open area somewhere. this one comes up, it kind of drifts to the right. I don't want it to hit my trailer right there. Perfect. did tell him that's not a lifting chain. I told him it's just for securement. We're just trying to make it work. It'd been pretty irritating if I told him that and he said, well, I can't use this chain. I think he was messing with a strap they had, but that probably would have just taken more time. I mean, obviously, this stuff is not over the top of anyone's head. Like, it's right above the ground the whole way. And I told him I'd come and hook it on the other end for him too, but he said he got it. I'll try to do it on these next few. I think he was just trying to, because I was putting my straps up, so he was probably just trying to let me get my straps and everything put up first. Good shot with that thing. I said you're a surgeon with that thing. You just swing it right into place. Good way to get a little exercise in. Going back and forth like this. quick one. It's still not even 8 o'clock yet. I've already had time to send the BOL into the broker and invoice their accounting department. And change clothes, get out of my safety costume. Making my way up to Kansas. I was up in Oklahoma, planning on going up to Kansas and hauling a load out of there last week, but the project they were starting on, it wasn't starting as soon as I thought, and I'm actually not even I was supposed to be taking something down to Louisiana for them, but they said they wanted me to go back to Arizona, so we'll be doing another one of those Arizona loads, which is fun. I mean, every time I go to Arizona, I just get a little bit better at getting out of Arizona. Hey, Hotshot, if you got a CB, you're supposed to come in the second gate. I don't know. Maybe he's waiting on me. No, he's going to go on the wrong gate.
Turn right onto Verhel Road. Then turn right onto US 87 North.
Oh, well. I'm sure he'll figure it out.
87 North.
If Landstar would let me pull their loads, then I would have some other freight in Arizona. If they didn't have a BCO that could haul the stuff. I was looking a little more. I did a couple videos on this will be a lot later. Normally, the Trucking Matters channel, if I'm doing something over there, it's normally more of a current top. It might be related to something that's time sensitive or something that just happened. Like if it's something related to the trucking market or whatever. And those are normally a lot easier videos to edit. These on the main channel, these are normally a month behind. But I did a couple videos on the trucking market, and I was looking at the Cass freight index and the Cass freight truckload indicators. Well, I was looking at the DAT numbers this morning, and there's an uptrend from November, December, January, and February is showing a predicted uptrend. I mean, February's not over yet. But that kind of is just one more confirmation that the market may be trending up. And that was for flat, reefer, and dry van. So normally January and February are bad, and the fact that there's been a consistent trend upwards for looks like 4 consecutive months, and 2 of them at the tail end of that trend are supposed to be some of the worst months of the entire year. So I think things might be turning around. I mean, by the time you watch this, it'll probably be the end of March. Or maybe April. I don't know. But if y'all made it this far in the video, thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. I'll see you next time.